And Chris says, hello, Mehran. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Chris. It's another beautiful day here in Boston. Oh, we've got sunshine here, too. I spoke too soon. It's a little bit cloudy. No, it's still sunny. And says, I have another date today. Hope it goes good. Good for you. Well, you guys are brave in Boston. Coronavirus or not, the show must go on. Date must go on, right? Brave. A moment for enjoying the strawberry. I know you guys know what the strawberry means, since if you were here last time we had a live talk, which was yesterday. So, a moment, please. Create moments of no thought, moments of oneness with whatever it is that you're experiencing. Nature, life, drinking some good chamomile tea. And that would give you a little bit of a clarity, because you will slow life down a little bit. The mind is always active, bringing up all kinds of suggestions and questions and nonsense and things that you don't really need to subject yourself to. But you got to create that moment that you'll be free from it. Otherwise, you'll constantly be pulled by these requests and constant alarms and things that mind is programmed to do. And then in that programming of protecting you, it even can go malfunctioning and causes unnecessary alarms, which would turn into transient thoughts and intrusive thoughts. And then you start going nuts and crazy. What are these? What do they have to do with me? And you believe them because you think it's in your head, and it's your thought, and it must be true because it's in your head. No, you and thought must understand. You and thoughts are separate. You're not thoughts, and thoughts are not you. There's certain rational thoughts that you instigate in order to design, produce, solve things that you want to accomplish in life. Those are instigated by you, your thoughts. But there are lots of other kind of thoughts that appear which have nothing to do with you whatsoever, including your sexuality. It even questions that, because your thoughts are not you. So when a thought appears in your head, making you think that you have an interest in this, or you have interest in that, you want to kill someone, or you want to abuse someone, or you want to rape someone, or your sexuality is not what you always thought it is. These are all things that is intrusive thoughts, transient thoughts, glitches and malfunctions of the alert system of your brain that is telling you, be alert for danger. And it's always opposite of what you are. So you got to understand how your brain functions. And so you need to create that tranquility for your brain to rest and decrease its activities. And how do you do that? One of the very main very things that you can do that is, first of all, understanding how your psyche is put together, how you're made, how you function, what are the components of your brain, what are the components of your psyche, what are the fragments of your psyche, each one's intention and connection with the others and influences that it does, and how separate they are, and are you following them, or they're supposed to be following you? You have to understand all this. And by this understanding, you will slow things down. But the other thing is by creating these tranquil moments through meditation. You must have a rest period for your brain. Just as we go and strengthen our bodies in the gyms and exercise and through sports and activities and so on, We must not neglect our mind. We must strengthen our mind, understand our mind, create tranquility, let it be free and relaxed as well. And through that relaxation, it gets strengthened. But we neglect our minds. We don't pay attention to it needs to be healthy too. And we just let it constantly be dealing with things. And when it has glitches, we think it's us. And we wonder. Well, because we've been neglecting our brain. We have not been helping it, creating that tranquility and vacation that it needs. We come home, we put our feet up on the coffee table, and we say, "Oh, I got to take the load off of my feet." But we never understand that most challenges and weights that we carry in our daily life is our mind, is our mental. It's not the day and ages that we carry weights with our bodies to make our livings all day long, to be so physically tired, but we still are, and we take care of it. We come home, put our feet up, and say, "I got to take the load off of my feet." But we never pay attention to that. We got to take the load off of our mind every day, just as we sleep. And that naturally takes place between mind and body. But we also take care of our body more than just the sleeping time during the day, don't we? We sit down, we lay down, we do this, but we don't do any of that for the mind, do we? So when we come home, when we don't come home, wherever we are, we're supposed to also take the load off of our mind by quick meditations, by longer meditations, by understanding the flow of energy and ki constantly through our life, through our daily life. Not only when we meditate, not only when we sit down and close our eyes and when we meditate, which is perfectly great, which is fine, that's what we should do, but also when we understand our relationship between the flow of the energy of the universe and our energy that runs through us, then we'll have this conflux and interchange continuously happening, which is like cleaning our system and not being overwhelmed or overworked or end up with having more glitches more often than it should. Because all of our brains are built in an inferior way. We all have glitches. We all have intrusive thoughts. We all have transient thoughts, weird thoughts, things that are disgusting to us, things that are not us. We have all kinds of thoughts. All kinds. You can go into your own mind. Don't believe what I'm saying. Haven't you had all kind of weird thoughts? I don't know. About your mother, your father, killing someone, doing something sexual images come to your mind that it's not normal for you. All these things, we all have it. Malfunction is part of how this brain is made. It is not made perfectly. But we think of ourselves perfect. Why? Because we connect ourselves with something outside of ourselves, a deity. And because we connect ourselves, we believe in the perfection of that deity, whatever has created us, universe, God, nature, whatever. And therefore we think we are perfect. And then when things like this happen in our brain, we say, "Oh, since we are perfect, then this must also be true, because how can a perfect person like me have malfunctions happening? That's not possible." So what it says, it must be correct. Not that I'm malfunctioning. Not wanting to recognize that I am a machine, mechanical machine, and I can malfunction like anything else. Because I've created an image of perfection out of myself, because I have believed in something supernatural, which I believe that is perfect. Therefore, I am connected with that. Therefore, that makes me perfect and special. And since I'm very special, then nothing ever could go messed up in my head. So anything that shows up in my head must be true. I must now worry about it. I must now believe it. No, you're not your thoughts. These are not your thoughts. These are thoughts. And if you understand how process of creating thought is, you will understand it's a material process. It picks up ingredients from all over. And these ingredients have not been initiated with you, not been requested by you, just there because that's what it does. Makes thoughts. It's like a factory that makes 24/7 some kind of a product. And when the proper material is not being fed in, or other kind of material finds its way into the assembly line, it turns that into product. But that's not the product that was designed by the designers. It turns out to be a shit product. And that's the same thing. The brain is a thought-making machine, mechanical machine, and sometimes glitches and weird things and alarms go. It's an electrical component. All neurons and so on, they can go wacko, just like any electrical machine. And therefore, they are short. They create weird thoughts, like the manufacturing plant creates a weird plant because of the ingredients that is not suitable got in there. So the product is different, but it's coming from the same assembly line, so they say, oh, it must be a good product. No, it's not. It's malfunctioned. But we recognize that because we have a controller, checks the quality of what was created out of that manufacturing plant. But we don't have a check and balances here. Anything that comes up, we believe, oh, it's mine. It must be perfect. Then we start questioning ourselves, questioning anything comes to our mind, including our sexuality. You know? A heterosexual guy or girl questions because a thought of sort came in, or interest in another same gender, energy was good and felt like a nice person, and then questions it and connects it to sexuality. Oh, I must be gay then. Or vice versa. So these are things because you don't check, you don't have a controller to check the quality that comes to your mind. You just believe anything. But like that controller at the manufacturing plant, there have to be a supervisor to supervise the quality of what's come out and understand how this manufacturing plant is put together and how it can malfunction. We do malfunction. The wires get crossed and the alarms go off unnecessarily. Intrusive thoughts are made, and then it is connected to, oh, then I got to question this thought. No, you don't have to. You just don't have to even pay attention to thoughts that you know it's annoying to you, it's contrary to what you are and how you live and what you like, and it's very clear to you. So don't question your existence and how you are. Just understand that this is a malfunction and don't pay attention to it and let it go. Just like the manufacturing plant, you just notice that this is a malfunction product, you just throw it out, reject it and go on. You don't stop the whole manufacturing. Oh, we have one here that is not the way, so therefore the whole manufacturing plant is now represented by this product that is a result of malfunction. No, you just reject it and you go on with putting the good material and continue and ignoring that as part of what's happening in that manufacturing plant. Same thing it does. We have intrusive thoughts, transient thoughts. We simply understand what it is, not question it, not get bogged down with it, not be confused with it, continue your way and ignore it and recognize, yes, thank you, I got it, I saw it, yeah, you're malfunctioning, I know that. But I'm not going to question myself or who I am or what I am or my sexuality or something because a thought came in, because I understand it's an intrusive thought. It's a malfunction of my brain, the alarm system that creates this kind of alert telling me there's a danger. Huh. Okay, thank you. And continue onward. That's how you deal with your intrusive transient thoughts. So we need to give our brain, value our brain by giving it a resting period so it won't be overloaded and then malfunction more often than it does, because it will malfunction in every one of us. Every one of us have intrusive thoughts and every one of us have transient thoughts, and we know that. But we got to understand what it is so it won't become a problem. It would be something that we expect, and when it does happen, we recognize it, and then we go on with our day, and we ignore it and ignore it and ignore it, regardless of how many millions of times it could show up. We will stick to what it is. It's a malfunction, and we stick to how we are and what we are, and with clarity, we keep going until it eventually recognizes nobody pays attention to me. The malfunction eventually falls by the sides and realizes that there is no debate here, there is no question here, they're not going to entertain me. So no matter how many times I show up, how often I show up, it's going to be the same. So it will be conditioned to not malfunction as often. And when it does, it won't bother you because you know what it is. That's how you deal with transient thoughts, intrusive thoughts, HOCD thoughts, which is homosexual thoughts for heterosexuals or vice versa. And so we go to, so in other words, don't forget meditation. Meditation is very important to create decreasing ripples and create that tranquility so you can rejuvenate not just your body, also your mind. Then mind and body coordination will take place, and less of separation takes place, and less of malfunctions takes place. We got to maintain what we have, not constantly take work out of it. It's like any kind of a machine. You work it all day long and all the time. Your cars, you can't expect it to not break down. But the fact is, in every other thing in life, we expect them to break down. And then we say, okay, it broke down, and we recognize it. And we don't say, oh, it broke down, but it's perfect machine. No, it's broke down. We recognize the breakdown and we get it fixed. Or we just say, okay, it's broken down. I got to understand this is why it's happening. Not because it's a complete perfect car still and yet it should work. No, it's a recognition of that there's a malfunction in the engine of the car, in the electrical system of the car. Same thing here. We expect everything else malfunction, but we don't seem to understand that we can malfunction too. Well, when we do, we question it. Oh, then I'm confused. No. Just recognize what it is. All right. Let's go on to